God forbid you are sitting in this place saying, I don't care about legacy. You need to care about it because somebody's got to live in the life you have. You are passing something down whether you want to or not.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Mindset Mastery Podcast, where we are constantly in the pursuit of mastering our mindsets in our faith, marriage, family, and in our businesses. Because if we don't have it right between the ears, it is likely that everything else is going to be very difficult. As much as it's already difficult, we want to sharpen our mindset on a daily basis and be intentional while we do it. So again, this is all about taking on a healthy mindset. I'm super excited today to speak to the mindset of teamwork, the power of harnessing teamwork, or harnessing the power of teamwork would probably be a more appropriate way to say it. And we're going to take some lessons from the coveted Clydesdale, the big horses, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, by the way, I'm your host, Coach Sam Velasquez. I'm super pumped you are here today. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you and welcome. And if you are tuning in as a guest for the second, third, fourth, umpteenth time, as always, so don't forget, hey, go ahead. I would appreciate it if you leave a review and a comment and let me know what you think, what you'd like to hear, where maybe you would want to have some insight and input for this podcast. But most importantly, when you like and subscribe and leave a review, it just helps the algorithm and it helps me get these messages to more people who may be needing and struggling with their mindset. And that's the goal, is to encourage people in their faith, marriage, family, and business when it comes to mindset mastery. So I'd appreciate that. So back to the old Clydesdale. Hey, you may not know this, but have you ever seen Clydesdales in action? Have you ever seen how just powerful and majestic at the same time? They're unstoppable. I cannot imagine being in a position where a Clydesdale's walking at me, let alone running at me. Their strength is incredible all by itself, let alone, I can't imagine how amplified that strength is when it's with another Clydesdale or a team of Clydesdales. And we need to recognize we're in the same principal position. We have a lot of power as individuals. However, when we're with another individual or multiple individuals, when we come together, our results amplify and they just increase insurmountably. I want you to, if you're not familiar with the Clydesdale horse, okay, my brain immediately goes to the, Super Bowl commercial ads for Budweiser. And those are the horses I'm talking about, the Budweiser horses, the Clydesdales over the Christmas time. There's one, if you remember, years back where they did a commercial with Clydesdales playing football and they're kicking a field goal. But anyways, those are the Clydesdales. They're huge, magnificent beasts of animals that I would not want to have to encounter if they were ever met. But here's what's fascinating about the Clydesdale, right? And the idea is, with this metaphor, think about yourself. Think about how powerful you are by yourself, let alone how much more powerful you could be with someone helping you. As a single Clydesdale can pull 8,000 pounds, very impressive, on its own. Okay, the standard full-grown Clydesdale can pull 8,000 pounds on their own. Now, we would assume that if one can pull 8,000, two can pull 16,000, right? That seems logically correct. However, that's not the case. When two Clydesdales are pulling, because they're working together, they can pull up to 24,000 pounds, 3 times their combined individual effort. That's amazing, incredible. But that's the difference between an individual and then having two, becoming a team. It then brings about what we call synergy. It's aligned effort. It's taking their energy and focusing it in the same direction, right? It's taking the load that they'd otherwise be pulling and then distributing it for efficiency. The idea is, right, for us, metaphorically speaking, imagine we're in the workplace or maybe in our families or communities. I know for me, I am one of 6 in my household. There's myself, my wife, and we have 4 kids ranging from 7 to 15. Okay. We have responsibilities that are very individual. However, we have responsibilities that are just part of the team, part of the family. Everybody contributes. And what's amazing is when everybody contributes, the work isn't less, but it feels like it's less because everybody's doing their part, right? That's the idea. It's like, but here's funny enough, here's a good example. This is literally happening today. As I'm recording this, this podcast will go out probably 1 or 2 weeks from the time I recorded it. However, today, when I'm actually recording, I have 2 pallets of wood burning pellets coming to my house. And there's 50 bags per pallet, and each bag weighs 40 pounds. I have moved in the past all 100 bags before. And now, it's not to say, look at me, that's impressive. It's to say, it's horrible. And I have the power and the ability to do it. However, in years past also, I've had my oldest son, who's now 15, and my wife contribute. And it's incredible. And here's how we can break this down. On my own, if I were to move 2 bags at a time, that's moving 80 pounds, I can do it in 50 trips. But if I add in both my wife and my son, and they're also moving 2 bags, those 50 trips, okay, those 50 trips go down to 15 or 16 trips. That's incredible efficiency. The time is less, the load is lighter, and I have to go less distance to move the same amount of pellets because of 2 extra individuals helping and working as a team to get the task done. I think that paints a good enough picture for us, okay? So that's the power of synergy. That's the power of what Clydesdales bring to the table. Now, get this. Not only can 2 Clydesdales pull 24,000 pounds versus 8,000 pounds alone, but when they actually train them younger into adulthood to pull together, they can pull up to 32,000 pounds. So with some training and building in some discipline, they can go from 24,000 pounds as a team of 2 to 32,000 pounds as a team of 2. That's crazy. I look at some of those Clydesdales and they're harnessed up and there's like 6 of them, sometimes 8 of them. That means like that's 20 over a ton, a ton. That's 32,000 pounds. There's 8 Clydesdales, 4 of them. I mean, I don't know what the math is on that. 32,004. I mean, that's crazy. It's well over 100,000 pounds they can pull when they're working together. So here's the lesson that we can take from this, right? What are some of the traits that amplify team strength? What are the things they're bringing together to make this work? Well, like the horse, like the Clydesdale, we need to be in alignment. You cannot harness a horse offset from another horse. They'll never pull the same together. They may pull at the same time, but one's going to be pulling against the other. It's going to be very difficult. Okay, so we too need to work in unison. We need to have a rhythm and focus, right? That's the human parallel. There has to be communication, right? The driver and the horse, they communicate through subtle signals and mutual trust, right? They have the reins. Well, for us, the parallels, we need to effectively communicate to each other as well to build trust and to avoid wasted effort, right? We need to have a mindset that thinks, how can I work better and more cohesive with those around me to be more effective, not only for the outcome for myself, but for the team, right? Each horse contributes based on their ability, and they do that to avoid burnout, which I think is fascinating. That means when we're working together as a team, not everyone's going to have the same effort. I can carry 2 bags of pellets. My wife will only carry 1 at a time. Not necessarily because she doesn't have the ability, but because if she does, she'll burn out. So she just carries what is appropriate for her. Well, I can continually carry 2. My son will alternate. He'll sometimes do 2, the next time he'll do 1. And it's the same thing. We need to make sure when we're working as a team that we are delegating tasks appropriately and ensuring there's not burnout. So then that way we have continued and sustained momentum, right? This concept is nothing new. However, it's very lost, I find, commonly, because we've become a society, especially as Americans, who pride themselves on, things like, I moved all 100 bags by myself. Listen, that's awesome, but it's silly. I would way rather have someone helping me all the time. Okay, so how do we apply these things to our everyday life? Well, maybe it's the workplace. Maybe it's personal growth. Maybe it's a societal thing. In our workplace, we all generally have, tasks that we have to do, sometimes as individuals, but we apply it by fostering that same thing, the synergy and collaborating. The communication piece is what's critical. When we communicate well, we avoid pitfalls. We need to encourage other members and each other to not just join the team, but to make sure everyone on the team knows the direction we're headed, and that it's okay if they're not able to pull as much as the other one. In our personal growth, maybe in our family or friend groups, right? We have to lean on each other sometimes to contribute. Not every time. If you've ever been sick, you just aren't as capable. But if everyone understands the direction still and is on the same page, it's okay that one person's sick, because we can make up because we're working as a team. But if everyone on the team is sick and only one person's healthy, that's pretty challenging. One person can't tend to pull all of the weight on their own. And that's the point. And we need to have a mindset that when we're working as an individual, we're normally working on something that is sustainable and appropriate to our skill level and set. When we're working on something that is more than we can handle, we need to get help, and we need to bring in a second person, our team member or individual, to help us. And here's the kind of wrap up to this, okay? I'm going to land the plane, keep this one short, because I think principally you guys got this. I trust you get it. But what we just need to remember is, like the Clydesdale, okay, we're stronger when we work together. That doesn't mean we don't put forth individual effort. But when we're making that effort based on the team, we can get way more done. Okay. Collaboration doesn't just add to our strength, it multiplies it. So when we're literally pulling a load or just navigating life's challenges, remember, you're not alone in the harness per se. And my encouragement is that, share stories of the teamwork and moments where you collaborated and then saw amplification or multiplication in your effort, because that's what matters. I want to be able to do things as an individual, but I certainly want to accomplish things also because of teamwork. And I know through experience that there are just some things I cannot do alone, right? It may not be a physical task either. And here's the last thing I'll leave you with. When it comes to mindset mastery, we have to get rid of our pride and our ego and our self-centered, centric view, because when we're doing that, we're really fighting against the thing that says we need to ask for help. We're fighting against the thing that says, you know what? I don't have the ability to pull this weight on my own. Hey, you know what? This individual over here is extremely strong and talented in this particular category, and I'm not as strong. Hey, I wonder if they'd collaborate, because together I'm capable, but with them, we could accomplish so much more. And they have maybe insight and skill sets that I don't have and I can learn from. Well, it's the same in life for all things. We need to recognize that we weren't meant to do it alone all the time. And yes, I understand, and I've said and alluded to this a little bit. I'm not saying we don't have moments or times when we have to go it alone, meaning there's no one to help us. It's just an individual effort where we have to figure it out on our own. That's part of life too. But principally speaking, or for the particular example of the Clydesdale, I'm talking about when we need help and when we need to collaborate and communicate and look for those around us to build the team, so we can together be unified and not just complete the task, but be more efficient, be more productive, and multiply our efforts and make the load increasingly lighter. That's the whole point. That's the mindset mastery we want to accomplish when it comes to the Clydesdale. Hey, you guys, as always, I appreciate you for tuning in. Go ahead, sign up for that free email below in the show note links, as well as if you would like to connect, hey, shoot me a time where you'd like to hop on a phone call. I love to help coach you through whatever it is you're wanting to do, especially when it comes to your faith, marriage, family, and business specific. I love working with new entrepreneurs. That is my heart and goal. And again, like, subscribe, and leave a review, please. I'd love to expand my reach to the population that is out there that I believe needs this encouragement when it comes to mindset mastery in our faith, marriage, family, and business. You guys, as always, we will see you on the other side. Peace.
God forbid you are sitting in this place saying, I don't care about legacy. You need to care about it because somebody's got to live in the life you have. You are passing something down whether you want to or not.